Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My name is Ginger Pierce, and I am a travel agent with Marvelous Mouse Travels. Welcome to the results show for round one of this year's Marvelous Madness tournament. If you happen to miss our bracket reveal show, we are trying to find the best ride in Orlando. And so we are pitting Walt Disney World rides up against Universal Orlando rides. We had a round of 32 matchups to start with that were voted on in my Facebook and Instagram stories on Sunday and Monday of this week. And so we are excited to reveal the results of that first round to you tonight. And to help me do that, I have my husband, Evan, with me tonight.
Hi, everybody. I conquered the people mover hat on in honor of this evening.
Yes, because the People Mover, of course, was one of the rides that was up for voting. So I guess let's jump right into it. And again, if you are watching us live and you want to chime in with your thoughts in the comments, we always love that. We love when people interact. It's part of what makes Marvelous Madness so much fun every year.
Well, we will start on the Disney side of the bracket. We have one half of the bracket that's Disney World, one half that is Universal Orlando. So on the Disney half of the bracket, Guardians of the Galaxy going up against the iconic It's a Small World, but it was not close. Guardians of the Galaxy won 100% to nothing. So kind of a lopsided victory there. But I mean, come on, that's a given, right?
Yeah, that one was not surprising at all. If it had gone the other way, I would have been shocked.
This one may be a little surprising. Maybe recency bias, I'm not sure, but Mickey's Runaway Railway won 72% to 28%. So not really that close either. I personally voted for Runaway Railway, but that's two good rides.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Star Tours has been around for a while, and there are newer, arguably more exciting Star Wars attractions that are available in Hollywood studios now. So I understand the love for Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Pretty good matchup here in round one. Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run going up against Expedition Everest. And it was, I think, the closest matchup on the Disney side of the bracket. Expedition Everest did win, and it was 60% to 40% vote.
Yeah, and honestly, this one was a little bit surprising to me as well. I expected it to be even closer than this. Because Expedition Everest is a super fun ride. I mean, it's a great coaster, but Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run is also really cool, and you have the opportunity to like interact with it. So this one, I'm not surprised that it's close. I actually would have expected it to be a little bit closer between these two.
Let's see here. Next matchup we got on the Disney side is a Epcot matchup, Soarin' up against Spaceship Earth. This was not close at all. Soarin' won in a total landslide, 91% to 9%.
And again, I mean, not a huge surprise here. Spaceship Earth is cool for what it is. I think it's a lot of people love it because of nostalgia, but if you're not going to Disney for nostalgia's sake or because you grew up going to the parks, if you're just going for what's going to be the most fun attractions, I think it's pretty clear that Soarin' is the winner here.
And let's see, we've got Big Thunder Mountain going up against Rock and Roller Coaster on the next matchup, and it wasn't that close. I mean, it was kind of close, but not that close. Big Thunder did win. That is, once again, an icon kind of status there in Magic Kingdom, 73% to 27%.
And I would have chosen Big Thunder as well if I had been voting on this, because Big Thunder is one of my favorite rides at Disney World. I think it's tons of fun. And it is, a family coaster. So it's something that the whole family can ride together, even if you have littles or you have people like me who are not super huge fan of rides that go upside down.
Kilimanjaro Safaris, maybe the most iconic ride in Animal Kingdom as far as what you think of when you think of Animal Kingdom. And then going up against Test Track, Kilimanjaro Safaris did win, It was 82% to 18%, so it was not close.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a good call as well. Test Track is fun. It's definitely a ride, I think, to do, but it's not necessarily a ride that I feel like I need to do every time we're in Epcot. But every time we go to Animal Kingdom, I want to do Kilimanjaro safaris.
All righty, and Frozen Ever After. So we got another Epcot matchup here. Frozen Ever After going up against Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. And Frozen Ever After did win. And it also was not that close. 80% to 20% Frozen.
Yeah, and Frozen is such a fun ride. I think it's kind of an underappreciated ride, because, Remy obviously is the newer of the two, and so that is the one that still tends to draw the most crowds. Like, if you get there, right as soon as the park opens, most people are kind of flocking to Remy. But between the two, I would have chosen Frozen as well. So I agree with the voters on this one.
All righty, and then the Magic Kingdom next door neighbor battle here, Tron and Space Mountain. Tron did win, and it was decently close. It was 78% to 22%. Tron pulled that one out.
Yeah, and again, not surprising. Tron is really new, easily the newest ride in Tomorrowland, and it's a ton of fun. So good choice, everybody.
So at this point, we've gone through half of the Disney matchups. Let's pause for just a second and look at the second round matchups that have now been generated from these first round winners. So just you got Guardians of the Galaxy that's going to be going up against Mickey's Runaway Railway. You got Expedition Everest going up against Soarin'. That's going to be a good matchup. That's going to be a good one. Big Thunder Mountain going up against Kilimanjaro Safaris. That's going to be a good matchup. And Frozen Ever After going up against Tron. And that could be a sneaky good matchup too.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting ones in that second round, and even more on the bottom half of this bracket, I would argue.
Well, let's look at the bottom half. We got Rise of the Resistance going up against Dumbo. This was not close as to be expected. And Rise of the Resistance won. Where is it? Here we go. 100% to nothing. So close. So close. 100% of the Rise of Resistance on them. And then the ride that my hat is representing right now, I conquered the People Mover. My hat is awesome. I got it at Disney Springs. I don't know if it's still available or not, but it is pretty cool. So People Mover going up against Peter Pan. Really, I mean, two icons, just icons. People Mover did win. And it was 73% to 27%, so fairly close.
Yeah, for sure. And I love People Mover. I mean, I think that it's one of the best rides in Magic Kingdom for a lot of reasons. It's super relaxing, nice place to kind of take some time off and put your feet up. But also you just get such beautiful views of the park, and you can take beautiful pictures, beautiful video footage. It's just a great ride. I love it. It's iconic.
Absolutely. All right. And then Toy Story Mania going up against Navi River Journey. So we got Hollywood Studios battling Animal Kingdom here. And Toy Story Mania blew them out of the water. No pun intended with Navi River Journey. This was 90% to 10%. It was not close at all.
Yeah. And I mean, here's the thing with Navi River Journey, as beautifully themed as it is, at the end of the day, it is a slow, dark boat ride, and you can get that similar experience on a lot of other rides in the park. But Toy Story Mania is pretty unique because it does have, that interactive element. And really the only other rides I can think of that offer that are Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin and, to a certain extent, Millennium Falcon. But even that is a different type of interactive feel. So it's just a much more unique attraction. So I think that's probably why it claimed the victory so handily.
All right. So we got Slinky Dog Dash going up against Pirates of the Caribbean. So new new icon versus OG icon. People like the new one. It was not close. Once again, we got, I guess it was decently close, 70% to 30%. The nostalgia, I think, kicked in for some folks of Pirates, but Slinky Dog, in my opinion, clearly the better ride of the two.
Yeah, I totally agree.
All righty. And then we got a Magic Kingdom matchup, kind of a new icon and old icon matchup here as well. Seven Dwarfs and Jungle Cruise. Shout out to Jungle Cruise. It got more votes than I thought it would, but Seven Dwarfs still won. It was 80% to 20%, which honestly, it was closer than I anticipated.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, it is the nostalgia factor that's kicking in for folks with Jungle Cruise, but Seven Dwarfs, I think, is, pretty clearly the winner here because it's just a more thrilling attraction.
And as we get to the last three matchups from Disney World, we've got Tiana's Bayou Adventure going up against Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. Or did I skip one? Oh, I did. I skipped Haunted Mansion. We can't skip Haunted Mansion, Alien Swirling Saucers. So let's do Alien Swirling Saucers and Haunted Mansion first. Haunted Mansion, I mean, that's going to be tough to beat in that matchup any day of the week. They did win 80% to 20%. I mean, it's Haunted Mansion,
Yeah, absolutely. Haunted Mansion is always going to be a hard one to take down.
That does present an interesting second round matchup right there, though, with Seven Dwarfs. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. Tiana's going up against Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. And this one was not close. Tiana's blew them out of the water 90% to 10%. So I guess people are loving the new retheme. I mean, I love the theming of it. It looks great. So kudos to Tiana's for that one.
Yeah, and I mean, for me as well, given my choice between the two, I'm going to pick Tiana's any day over Buzz.
Yep, I did too. All right, and to round out the last matchup of the first round from Disney, we got Flight of Passage, just a tremendous favorite ride for so many people in Animal Kingdom, going up against literally the icon of Hollywood Studios, like the ride that is the park icon. And Flight of Passage took it down. It was 70% to 30%. So there are some people out there who do love the Tower of Terror. But I mean, going up against Flight of Passage, it's hard to beat Flight of Passage when you're Tower of Terror.
Yeah, absolutely. Flight of Passage is just, again, it's a multi-sensory experience because you've got the motion element, you've got the scent element, you've got the, wind blowing in your face. It's just really immersive, and it's hard to beat that.
Absolutely. So as we round out Disney World side of the bracket, let's look at these bottom half matchups for this side of the bracket. We got Rise of the Resistance going up against People Mover. I hate it for People Mover, but I don't know how they're going to beat Rise of the Resistance. We got Toy Story Mania going up against Slinky Dog Dash. Woo! Next door neighbor matchup right there. That's going to be a good one. Seven Dwarfs going up against Haunted Mansion. That, I think, is going to be the surprise matchup of the round. I think that's going to be so close. And we've got Tiana's Bayou going up against Flight of Passage. I think Tiana's Bayou is great, but I don't think it's going to be Flight of Passage. You got any thoughts on that bottom half, Jen?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think that Tiana's is going to take down Flight of Passage, but I totally agree that Seven Dwarfs and Haunted Mansion is going to be the one to watch in this next round because, I mean, you've got just the iconic status of Haunted Mansion. There's so many, I mean, people Disney bound dressed as that ride. You know what I mean? Like, it is that big of a deal. There's lines of merch that are connected with that ride. Like, people just absolutely love it. And, it's going up against one of the tier one, like the individual Lightning Lane attractions in Magic Kingdom. So it's really going to be interesting to see how that one goes.
And as I look back through this bracket, in the bottom half, there were none. On the top half, still none, still none. There's one, two upsets in the whole out of 16 matchups on that side of the bracket. There were 2 upsets. You had Runaway Railway, which was the 17 seed over Star Tour's 16 seed. So that was the closest matchup as far as your rankings. And then Expedition Everest, a 21 seed, upsets Millennium Falcon, a 12 seed. So very little deviance from what you ranked them on that one as far as what people liked.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, let's go over to the other half of the bracket. We've got Universal. We just went up Interstate 4 there to Universal. And do you like that as a geography joke?
Good.
So we got Hagrid's going up against the Simpsons. Y'all, it wasn't even close. How could it be? But 5% of the people did pick Simpsons. Why? I don't know. Like, I mean, if you're being honest and you're looking at those 2 rides, how could you say that Simpsons is better than Hagrid's? This is awesome.
Yeah, I think it probably would have to do with the theming. You know, if you're maybe not a huge Harry Potter fan, but you do love the Simpsons, that might be why you would go with it. But other than that, I don't think so.
That's true. That's true. So we got the Seuss High in the Sky Seuss trolley going up against Spider-Man. I don't know what it is about that little Seuss trolley. I love that ride, man. It just makes me happy. Unfortunately, Spider-Man did beat it. And it was decently close. It was 73% to 27%.
Yeah, and I mean, I love Spider-Man too. And I think that if you are a Marvel Comics fan and you do appreciate the Easter eggs, there's just a ton of stuff to look at in that queue. Really, there's a ton of stuff to look at in that whole island. Marvel Superhero Island is just a treasure trove of Easter eggs if you're into Marvel Comics. So I'm not really surprised that that one was an upset because, you know, I had them ranked pretty close to each other. So that one really honestly could have gone either way.
All right, Transformers and Fast and Furious. This was not close. Transformers destroyed them 81% to 19%.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't think that Fast and Furious is really all that special unless you're just really into that theming, which I mean, that's becoming an older movie franchise now. And so I just don't think it has kind of the fan power behind it that maybe it once did.
This one was awesome, in my opinion, because I love this ride. Flight of the Hippogriff won. Check this out. 90% to 10%. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, Flight of the Hippogriff, you cannot beat the views from that ride. I think that's what people love about it. It's what I love about it.
And I mean, I think it's the highest point in the entire park. So let's see here. Escape from Gringotts going up against Cat in the Hat. Here, I'll scroll down a little bit here. I mean, shout out to Cat in the Hat. It's a cool ride, but it had no chance going up against Escape from Gringotts. It was 78% to 22%. But hey, shout out to Cat in the Hat, 22% of the vote. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, people love Dr. Seuss and people love that story in particular. So I'm definitely not surprised that it got some votes, but I'm also not surprised that ultimately it was beat out by Gringotts.
This next one, oh boy. I almost thought about just flipping my desk over when I saw this. Justice Roller Coaster. That's my new battle cry. In Black did beat it. It was pretty close. It was 69% to 31%. So that's pretty close. But I mean, come on, man. Roller Coaster. It's a cool ride and it's new. It's just a cool ride.
Yeah, I mean, Men in Black, if you're a millennial like us and you grew up watching those movies, you know, I understand why you would love that ride. And it is a fun ride. Like I'm not knocking Men in Black at all. You know, it's one that we tend to ride every time we're at Universal, but I mean, roller coaster, like, I don't know. It's hard to be. Yeah, I was very surprised by these results.
Now, this next one, we had an interesting situation arise here. Mummy and ET literally tied, exact same number of votes, 50%, 50%, on both platforms, on Facebook and Instagram. So we had a situation where we were like, what's going to be the tiebreaker? Our daughter did not vote in the thing. And so we said, hey, which one, Mummy or ET? And our daughter chose Mummy. So that one is moving. Heartbreak City for ET there. That was my vote, actually, was ET. But Mummy advances.
It does. And I mean, they're both great rides. Like, I totally understand why they were a tie on both platforms, because you've got, I mean, ET is, even if you're not like into the nostalgia of ET, that ride is just fun. Like, it is just a fun ride. But Mummy is also a lot of fun too. And it's kind of right there in the heart of New York, and it's themed really well. So, this isn't a surprise that this one was so close.
And then to round out the top half of this side of the bracket, and a close one, super close, Hulk just barely advanced, 100% to nothing after on this round, 100% to nothing. I mean, that's to be expected, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No surprises here.
So as we go back and we look through the top half of this bracket, the second round matchups, you got Hagrid's going up against Spider-Man, Transformers going up against Flight of the Hippogriff, Escape from Gringotts going up against Men in Black, and Mummy going up against Hulk. What do you think about those matchups, Jen?
I think, scroll up for just a sec. I think that Transformers and Flight of the Hippogriff could be an interesting matchup. Yeah, that one will probably, in my opinion, be the closest of the second round, at least this part of the bracket.
Yep, I agree. Totally. Hulk, I mean, come on, Mummy. I don't think you got a chance against the Hulk. This Escape from Gringotts and Men in Black could be an interesting one, because, I mean, a lot of people love Men in Black. So that'll be interesting to see what people pick there.
Yeah, and I mean, those rides are nothing alike. You've got one that's a coaster and one that's kind of like a track system, and that's, got that interactive element. So they're really, it just depends on what you like better.
And one interesting thing here, I was sitting here counting them up. These 8 rides that have advanced so far got 4 from Islands of Adventure and 4 from Universal Studios. Like, that's pretty cool. Shows good balance between the parks.
It does. They're very different parks, but they're both awesome for different reasons. So definitely can't skip either one of them.
Yep. All right. So as we move to the bottom of the bracket, I'm sure this will shock everyone, but Velocicoaster absolutely destroyed Twirl and Hurl 100% to nothing. It got all the votes on both platforms.
Yeah, no surprises there.
In the Battle of the Dinosaurs, Jurassic Park going up against Pteranodon Flyers. We didn't plan that. It just happened that Jurassic Park did win, but this was very close, actually. This may have been the closest other than Mummy and ET, which was literally split 50-50. But this was 62% to 38%. So it was very close. Jurassic Park did win, though.
Yeah, and Pteranodon Flyers, you do have to have a child with you of a certain height to be able to ride that. And that's so, true. Not everybody may have gotten to experience that ride. So, that could potentially explain this one.
That's a good point. Minion Mayhem versus Kong. Minion Mayhem did win. And it was 81% to 19%. So pretty wide margin there.
Yeah, absolutely. And not really a surprise either. I mean, it's the Minions. They're one of the, icons of Universal.
Mm-hmm. They almost become the poster children, I guess, of Universal Studios. All right, so now we've come to what I like to call the Hogwarts corner, and we've got back-to-back Hogwarts matchups here. Now, if you're watching this and you're thinking, why are they separate? If you missed our reveal show, we explained on there. So Universal Orlando actually classifies Hogwarts Express as two separate rides, depending on from which station you are leaving, whether that's Hogsmeade or King's Cross Station right outside of Diagon Alley. And so that's why, since Universal Orlando classified these rides as separate rides, that's why they are separate rides on our bracket as well.
And the show experience is different in each direction. So, it's not like you are doing the exact same thing twice. You're getting a different experience each way.
Yep, totally different experience. You're right. And Ginger, what do people have to have in order to get to ride this? Because some people might go there and they might say, I can't ride it. Why can't I ride it? I saw it on that bracket reveal, video, and everybody loved it. So why can't I ride it?
It happens all the time. People show up with base tickets, which only gets you entry to one park per day, not realizing that to ride the Hogwarts Express, you need a park to park, because it does actually travel between Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. So if you don't have that park to park ticket, you're not going to be able to access that attraction. And so many people don't realize that, and they end up having to pay to upgrade in the park to a park to park, which is actually more expensive, that they actually have a little station there where you can do that. Like, that is how often that happens. So, that's one of many reasons to work with a travel professional, with someone who knows things like that and can recommend that park to park ticket to you in advance, because that's going to get you access to everything that you want to do. And it's also less expensive to just go ahead and purchase that up front than it is to wait and upgrade it once you're in the park. So unless my clients specifically request a base ticket, I don't even quote base tickets to them. I always do a park to park, because I know that that's how they're going to get the best experience at Universal.
Yeah, because people have heard about the Hogwarts Express. They want to ride it. And the only way to do that is to have that park to park ticket.
Absolutely. And that's also not the only reason to have a park to park ticket. I mean, it is so easy to walk between Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. You can start in one and end in the other. Like, it really is, it's an incredibly walkable resort. And so even if the Hogwarts Express is not your thing, I still think you're going to get value out of that park to park ticket.
Yeah, I totally agree. All right. Well, Redfish, Bluefish, let's see how you did here against the Hogwarts Express. Now, this particular one is the one where you leave from Hogsmeade. And so Hogsmeade, Hogwarts Express against Redfish, Bluefish. Hogsmeade, it won the day with the Hogwarts Express. And it was not close at all. 95% to 2%. Sorry, Redfish, Bluefish. One fish, two fish. I tried to come up with a rhyme and it didn't work. 95% to 5%, not close.
Yeah. Redfish, Bluefish, you fish, lose fish.
Nice. Let's see. The other Hogwarts Express that leaves from King's Cross Station right outside of Diagon Alley, going up against Carousel. There are apparently some Carousel fans. However, Hogwarts Express did win, but this was closer. It was 92% to 8%. So some folks voted for Carousel.
Yeah, and Carousel is great. I mean, it's a fun little carousel. The characters are super unique, so it's not like your just everyday carousel. But I mean, it's the Hogwarts Express, so it's not a surprise to me that one pulled it out in the end.
And then we got VillainCon, which is a relatively new ride, going up against Jimmy Fallon. And either people have ridden it and they didn't like it, or they just really like Jimmy Fallon, because Jimmy Fallon did win. However, this was close. This was actually really close. I actually misspoke earlier. This was the closest matchup other than Mummy and E.T. It was 56% to 44%.
Yeah, and I mean, Jimmy Fallon is a great ride. For me personally, I would rather do VillainCon, just because Jimmy Fallon does kind of mess with my motion sickness a little bit. But if you don't struggle with that, I mean, it's super fun. He's hilarious. The theming is really fun. All the different show elements that you experience, even in the queue, are great. So Jimmy Fallon is a great attraction. And VillainCon, again, has a fantastic queue. The ride itself is maybe not as exciting, but the queue is well worth it. And if you struggle with motion sickness, I think you're probably going to have fewer issues on VillainCon than you are on Jimmy Fallon.
For sure. Totally agree. VillainCon, if you're not familiar with where it is, it's actually located in what used to be the Shrek 3D thing that they would do, or 4D, whatever it was. And so that's where VillainCon is. It's right across the street from Minion Mayhem, right as you walk in to Universal Studios. All right, and then the last two matchups on the Universal side of the bracket here. We got Forbidden Journey going up against the Storm Force Accelerator. And I mean, it was not close. Forbidden Journey won 80% to 20%.
Yeah, no surprises here. I mean, Forbidden Journey is in Hogwarts. It's hard to beat that.
Fair point. Fair point. The best ride queue in all of Universal Orlando, in my opinion.
Totally agree. Yeah.
And then Rip Ride Rocket going up against the barges. I mean, come on, man. That ain't even that had no chance. But it was actually much closer than I anticipated. It was 79% to 21%, which shocked me.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's hot in Orlando. And so, like, in the heat of the day, you know, water rides are appealing because it just gives you that little bit of relief. But, you know, Rip Ride Rocket also, too, is, you know, a more intense coaster. You know, it's not a
for sure
coaster, you know, and for some people that might have tipped it as well, because not everybody loves the intense coasters.
Yeah, that's a good point. So as we look at the bottom half of this side of the bracket and the matchups that have been created on the second round, we got an All Islands of Adventure matchup here at the top. Another battle of the dinosaurs with Jurassic Park and Velocicoaster. Then you got Minion Mayhem and the Hogwarts Express coming from Hogsmeade. So 3 Islands of Adventure, 1 Universal so far. Then you've got 2 Universal Studios rides here with Hogwarts Express from King's Cross Station right outside Diagon Alley and Jimmy Fallon. And then Forbidden Journey, which would be a Hogwarts or Hogsmeade ride. So that's Islands of Adventure and Rip Ride Rocket. So you've got, let's see, Forbidden Journey would be Islands, Hogsmeade, Islands. We got 4 and 4 again. Minion Mayhem, King's Cross, Jimmy Fallon, and Rip Ride Rocket. But yeah, wow. How about that? So on this side of the bracket, you've got the rides that advanced to the round of 32. So there would be 16 rides on this half of the bracket. You've got 8 from Islands of Adventure and 8 from Universal Studios. How about that?
I'm telling y'all, there's no weak parks at Universal. There's no skippable parks at Universal. They're all a must do. And that's about to become even more the case when Epic Universe.
Oh, yeah. So what do you think about these second round matchups on the bottom half of this bracket? You got Velocicoaster and Jurassic Park, Minion Mayhem and Hogwarts Express.
I think that Velocicoaster is going to come out on top again for that first one. Hogwarts Express that's going to be a close one. Scroll down to the next one if you don't mind here. I think that Hogwarts Express from Diagon Alley might take out Jimmy Fallon. But again, you know, Jimmy Fallon could surprise me again. It could sneak up and be the dark horse. So who knows?
I think that last matchup, Forbidden Journey and Rip Ride Rocket, I think that's going to be the most intriguing one to watch.
Agreed.
Because, I mean, Rip Ride Rocket, I thought it would just annihilate the barges, and it didn't. Like, it was pretty close. So
yeah,
if that's the case, I mean, people love Forbidden Journey. So I don't know. That might be an upset right there.
Yeah, I think that one's the one to watch on this side of the bracket for sure.
So now I'm curious because now, you know, I'm going to zoom out and we're going to look at the whole bracket from, you know, this point forward. If I zoom all the way out, whoa, that's a little too far. Everybody look at that bracket. How about that? Let's see here. So let me zoom back in. You know, if we look at the bracket as a whole, we'll try 150%. Yeah, there we go. All right. So if we look at the bracket as a whole here, we're now down to the round of 32. And I'm going to try zooming in just a hair more. So we've already said on the Universal side of the bracket, on the right side, we've got 8 rides from each park. I now have to know, because now I'm curious. If we look at the other side, you help me keep track. All right, Guardians, we got 1 for Epcot, Runaway, 1 for Hollywood Studios, Expedition Everest, 1 for Animal Kingdom, Soarin', 2 for Epcot. So, all right, how are we going to? I'm not going to be able to keep track of this. Can you help me?
So we got 2 for Epcot, 1 for Hollywood.
Maybe I should write this down.
1 for Hollywood Studios and 1 for Animal Kingdom so far. So 1 for each. Well, we haven't got to Magic Kingdom yet. So 2 Epcot, 1 Animal Kingdom, 1 Hollywood.
All right, so now I'm good. All right, so Big Thunder, we got Magic Kingdom.
Got another one for Animal Kingdom under Kilimanjaro.
Okay.
Frozen Ever After is Epcot.
I'm keeping the tally list here because I knew if I was trying to remember all this in my head, there's no way that was going to happen.
Tron is Magic Kingdom. Rise of the Resistance is Hollywood Studios. People Movers, Magic Kingdom. Toy Story Mania is Hollywood Studios. Slinky Dog Dash is Hollywood Studios. Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is Magic Kingdom. Haunted Mansion is Magic Kingdom. Tiana's Bayou is Magic Kingdom. And then Flight of Passage is Animal Kingdom.
All right, so here's how that breaks down. Epcot and Animal Kingdom both had 3. Hollywood Studios had 4. And Magic Kingdom had 6. So that's pretty evenly split when you think about it, because Animal Kingdom only has, I think, 7 rides in the whole park?
Yeah, especially right now since they're renovating the Dino Land USA
section. Even less than that, probably 6 rides.
And, Magic Kingdom is the largest park in terms of number of attractions.
Yeah, they got 24 rides.
Yeah, so that's not at all surprising that it has more. But Hollywood Studios, in terms of square footage, is the smallest park at Disney World. And yet it's coming in with 4 rides. So that just tells you how much there is to do at Hollywood Studios. And then Animal Kingdom, even though it has fewer rides, 3 of them are on this list.
Half of them.
So yes, the rides that are there are great rides. And of course you've got Epcot. A lot of people are always like, oh, Epcot is you're only going there for food, or you're only going there for whatever. No, you're not. There's fantastic rides at Epcot too, plus all that other stuff. So same thing with Universal. There is not a skippable park at Disney World. There's no dud park at Disney World. They're all great, just for different reasons.
Really, when you look at it, we just said these are people, we didn't say, people who voted said it. These are the 16 best rides in Disney World. 3, 3, 4, and 6. So essentially, each park has a quarter of the best rides, really, when you think about it. 4 is a fourth of 16. So each ride or each park has a quarter of the best rides in that's very, very evenly distributed. That's pretty impressive, really, when you stop and think about it. So this is exciting. These are the matchups for round 2. I'm going to go through them real quick on either side of the bracket, and then Ginger, after I do that, you explain to everybody how they're going to vote for these ride matchups. So just to refresh everybody's mind, on the Disney side of the bracket, second round matchups, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy against Mickey's Runaway Railway. Expedition Everest against Soarin'. That's going to be such a good matchup. Big Thunder Mountain against Kilimanjaro Safaris. Such a good matchup. Frozen Ever After against Tron. That one I think is going to be a very intriguing matchup. Rise of the Resistance against People Mover. I love the People Mover, but I don't think it has a chance against Rise. Toy Story Mania against Slinky Dog Dash. That'll be an intriguing one. Seven Dwarfs against Haunted Mansion. That is going to be an intriguing one. And Tiana's Bayou against Flight of Passage. Like Ginger said, people go to Haunted Mansion to bury their loved ones illegally. I mean, like there's stuff that happens, like people, like she said, people dress up specifically for Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, like people and I mean people like he's right. People have gotten kicked out of the parks for like trying to sprinkle ashes and stuff on the Haunted Mansion. That is illegal, by the way, and it will get you a lifetime ban from Disney World. So don't do that. But I mean, people are
Good
like,
advice from the travel agent.
yes, do not do that. It will get you a lifetime ban. But I mean, people legitimately do love that ride. Like it is a cultural phenomenon. So in my opinion, on the Disney side, that's the matchup to watch is Seven Dwarfs versus Haunted Mansion.
And then on the Universal side, you got Hagrid's against Spider-Man, Transformers against Flight of the Hippogriff. I think that one's going to be a really good matchup. Escape from Gringotts against Men in Black. I think that'll be a good one. Mummy against Hulk. I think Hulk's going to blow him out of the water. Velocicoaster against Jurassic Park. I don't know, man. That could be a sneaky good one because Velocicoaster is super intense. My favorite thing I've ever heard a team member say at Universal happened on that ride. I'm waiting to get on the ride, and the person in front of me looks at the employee that's working the ride and says, "Hey, is this the best ride in Universal?" And the guy looks at him and goes, "This is the best ride in Florida." It was awesome, man. Like it was such a cool line. This is the best ride in Florida. And so that it's super intense. And so people might not like that. And Jurassic Park is certainly less intense than Velocicoaster. So I don't know. That one could be a sneaky good matchup. Minion Mayhem against Hogwarts Express. I mean, I think Express will win that. Hogwarts Express against Jimmy Fallon. That one will be probably a little bit closer, but I still think Hogwarts is probably going to win that. And then Forbidden Journey against Rip Ride Rocket. That's going to be really a really good one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's the matchup to watch on the Universal side for sure. So the way that the voting is going to work for round 2 is that we are going to be voting again in my Facebook and Instagram stories. So on Facebook, I am at Ginger MMT. On Instagram, I am at Ginger_MMT. And so we will be voting on the Disney half of the bracket tomorrow. Which is Wednesday, and then we will be voting on the Universal half of the bracket on Thursday, which means that our next live results show will be on Friday night. So Evan and I will reveal, the next round of winners at that time at 8:00 p.m. Eastern again. So again, we always appreciate when you all vote. It's always fun to see, people's thoughts and see the things that surprise us versus the things that we kind of see coming. But we also love it when people join us for these live shows. And so especially with the next one being on a Friday, hopefully, you can be home and take part in that and chime in with comments because that is really kind of what makes this fun every year. It's just the interaction and people sharing their thoughts and opinions for good or for bad on the different results that we present. But again, thank you all so much for watching tonight. Thank you for voting. We really appreciate it. And we hope everybody has a great night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.